Hey guys, it's Krista. I hope everybody's having a blessed day, and I know that I am. It's gorgeous out, and got up early and went to go see my old apartment where I used to live. Very much in my waiting season, in the season where it was kind of that seed time and harvest. Well, for me, it was the time. And it's funny because I was there with a really good friend of mine, and who walked through that season with me, and we just talked about where we've come from then and how hard that time was. Like, my husband and I have a joke of like all of the places that I've lived in where I had trauma. It's like that I'll always go by and show him and be like, and that's the window that I cried in, and we'll joke and be like, that's where I cried for 3 months. But it's true. Like, that's just what a lot of my life was. It was a lot of crying and waiting and crying out and needing like the Lord to help, and it wasn't always like it is now. And so it was funny because we were just talking about how much things have changed. And that was 9 months in that apartment between the time of coming out of being homeless to renting the trailer that we lived in as kids. That's where God brought us back to. And and staying there with my brother to take care of him, and then that becoming so hard and so horrible in a very abusive situation where I still needed to take care of him, but I couldn't live with him anymore. I couldn't be in that all the time. And my friend let me live in this apartment that was old and ran down, and it was getting ready to be ripped out, and there was going to be brand new ones. And that's what I saw today. I saw the brand new one, and it was so prophetic because it was like, I remember when this was old, and I remember when I was, the old me was here, and now the new me is here, and this is new, and it's beautiful. Like, we made it, we made it. You did this, and we made it out of this. And then, there I am with, my baby, Krista 2.0, and, I have my husband that's at work, and, that I love so much, and, my bonus girls that are at school, and, and my new home that's, amazing and just filled with love, and I have so much healing, and, the hurts that I was dealing with in that apartment don't exist anymore. I can talk about the same things, but I don't have the same reaction to them. And him and I were talking about just all the deliverance that we got because we walked on that road together. And, and being around him reminds me of, just all of that, and that we're still like on the same page with it. And, and it's just incredible. I just want to encourage people kind of with that, because I feel like it was very prophetic. I feel like God was just really wanting to show me like where he's brought me from in this season into the next, and where it's such a good thing, because now it's like everything that was old has been made new, and everything that was once just kind of so hard and so difficult. I told him, I said, I can't believe you stood by me through all of that, because at one point he helped me take care of my brother and ended up helping me for about 1.5 years. About the first year I did it by myself, and then about the last 1.5 years or so, when I was taking care of him like every day, he did it with me every day. I didn't even ask him to. He just showed up one day and said, you're not going to do this alone anymore. And because nobody understood what was happening in that house, but he did over time, where I wouldn't really let anybody around. I really wouldn't do any of that. I kept everybody at such arm's length, and I didn't really want anybody's help because I didn't want anything that came with that. I didn't want the enemy to be able to use anybody to make things harder. I always was assessing everybody's risk factor, basically, and the risk was a lot less if it was just me. And that was the only person that I trusted, and then finally just showed up one day and said, I'm going to help you with him every morning, and I'm going to help you with him every night. And then it got to the point where it's like, you're never going to be alone with him. And I'm like, okay, because the more that he saw what that looked like, the more it was, I'm going to protect you from from the situation, but I understand what you're doing and I support it, and I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you accomplish this goal, because he needs our help, And so, and we finished well, and now we're continuing to go, and I come back and I see everything that he's accomplished, that everything that now that one apartment is many apartments, and it's like, wow, like, look. And I told him, I said, can you believe this was all in your head? This was a dream you had, and look at it. It is finished and it's beautiful. And I said, that's just so incredible. And he's like, yeah, it's crazy. And, and so it was just an amazing morning to be able just to really reflect and to really just enjoy, like, together with somebody who walked through those really hard seasons with you, who saw you when you had absolutely nothing but a heart for the Lord, faith, and a desire to live, and to be healed, and to have restoration. And it's a really incredible experience. So I just want to encourage everybody today that if you are in the seed season, or you are in the time season, I've said it on here before that, when you get, it's like whenever you come, when you start really following the Lord, you have a time where you are planting seed. Everything you do is you are planting seed, and it feels like you're not reaping a harvest. And you're like, well, I'm doing all of this. Why is this still hard? And it's because there has to be time for the seed to plant and to ripen and to grow and to become all the things. And then you get to harvest it. And so I remember, I went through that felt like a really long time. And, in that time, you're like, am I doing something wrong? Why do I see this harvest yet? But it's because you don't understand it yet. You don't know the time that it takes once you plant that seed. And it's just incredible, because then whenever you get married, it's kind of like you start over again, because you become one. And so now you're not just you're now new, because now you became one with somebody else. And so you kind of go through that same thing. So my husband and I went through that. We went through that seed time, and now we're starting to see our harvest. And that was a long season. And so we went through our own, trials and struggles. And now it's like we're really coming into that harvest time. And so we know that a lot of you are coming into that harvest time. And so there's just so much to learn and so much to take in from that. But I just want everybody to be encouraged. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over your family. Speak life over your finances. Don't give up when it gets hard. Don't think that God's left you. He hasn't. There is just an order to things, and everything there is a season. And so your season of harvest is coming. If it hasn't already, it's on its way. So don't lose heart. Don't give up hope. If God is quiet, just know it's because you're doing the right thing, and you don't need to switch directions. You don't need to do anything different. Just keep doing everything that God's put in front of you, what he's put in your heart to do, what you know that you've been instructed by the Holy Spirit to do, and be faithful in that. And he will reward you openly. And just be strong and courageous in the Lord. You have no reason to be scared. There's nothing to fear. And, I was talking with somebody yesterday, and they were talking about like the COVID thing, coming back, and they actually had tested positive, and said, you and the baby should really stay home. And I said, we're not going to live in fear. And it doesn't mean that we're careless. Obviously I'm going to protect my baby, but we're not going to stay home. And, and they were like, oh, and I said, we're covered under the blood of Yeshua. And they said, well, yeah, that's true. And I said, I'm looking at the 9 blessings of Passover on my fridge right now. And these are covenant blessings. These are things that we have a covenant right to. We serve a covenant God. And so when you sow into his appointed times, you're in covenant with him, and you know what your covenant rights are. And it doesn't mean that bad things aren't going to come, but it's not going to end in that disaster that it would if you weren't. And so it's not like you don't have trials, because we definitely do. And sometimes you even question, but it's like, no, I said, even if you got COVID, you're not going to die of COVID. You're not going to get that worst case. You're going to have the right treatment. He's going to cover you through that, and he's going to protect you through that. So it's not to be negligent, but it's also having faith in the relationship that you have with the Lord, and what your covenant rights are with him. And that's provision, that's protection. That is Psalms 91. you know, he is with you, and it's a pretty binding thing of where it's like, no, I've got a covenant with God, with the living God, and he takes care of me, and he's going to protect us, and no pestilence and is going to come near our doors. So yeah, I just wanted to just share that with you. This was a really cool morning, and it was really eye-opening. It was really fun. We got to laugh and just and joke about old times, and just get to see all of these old things that were made new, and there we are standing like the products of it. We made it. We made it through some really, really hard stuff, and here everybody is on the other side, and we're all still just loving the Lord and just in awe of what he's done, and still doing the things that he put before us, and it's pretty incredible. So anyway, I hope this reaches you well. I hope it blesses you, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.